Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the GamerLK Clans League of Legends League, also known as GCLL Season 4, and we are here for the grand final. So the casters for today are going to be me, myself, Darkro, as well as joining me is going to be Shera. How excited are you for this grand final?
I'm super excited for this game, and it's also going to be on the new the new meta, the preseason. So we're going to have a lot of contesting going around for the dragons. So it's going to be very interesting, how everyone's going to adapt to this new meta as well. So pretty excited right now.
Yeah, I think both teams have had a very limited amount of time to kind of get adopted to all the new changes. Especially with the map changes, especially when you pick up the dragon, the infernal dragon, and how the map also changes when you pick up all the other dragons. This is actually super interesting, which you'll hopefully see during the game. And then obviously top and bot lane also having that extra pathway that seems a little bit redundant, but maybe if you get there a little bit early, maybe the only viable reasoning I see for that little area that was made in that in the sense that you have very good level 1 ganking potential if you have a champion that is strong enough to kind of actually put that much pressure on, and maybe even force out a very early flash. But then obviously you'll be giving up. It'll have to be the jungler, and then that means you're giving up too much.
A lot of people haven't been using that as much because they're still trying to adjust to how to use that path. But it is super important, if you want to try and like you said, bait out people. Just you can go back and forth, play around with the enemy champion, and all that. So pretty fun stuff happening right now.
Yeah, definitely, and the invades are going to be super interesting as well. I feel like it'll be very important, and that is something we actually saw Lanka Alliance do quite often in both their games. They put a lot of pressure on the side of PnX Red, to try and pressure out the jungler. And in the initial game he was having a really bad run, but in that second game he was doing a much better job. And with that, hopefully we won't be seeing any Nautilus mids.
No,
hopefully not.
I think I'm gonna go in on the limb and say I don't think we're gonna be seeing a Nautilus mid anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely. I also think so. And I think I would bet on the limb that you are betting on as well. So with that, one more thing, Shara, I really want to talk about was the fact that with the changes, and obviously a few there was a little bit of changes here and there to certain champions as well. Do you think there is anyone who's exceptionally strong right now, or do you think it's the same champions as the previous packs?
Well, I think since Senna just got released, I think she's super OP right now. So I really feel like if both teams have a shot at trying to get her, they should really try and secure that Senna, because she is super strong right now. Really strong right now. So either the teams ban her or they just pick it for themselves right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think if she's open, I think first phase pick is very strong. I mean that champion right now is kind of busted and it's very strong. I mean there's so many ways that you can play her as well, and obviously having that really long range burst ability as well. She's kind of like a budget Lux in a sense where I mean it's not exactly like a budget Lux.
I think right now she's more than
she's more than
she's more than a budget.
She's like a better
right
version of Lux.
Yes.
Yeah, right now I mean. But with that, it'll obviously, I think it'll be a very contested pick, and I feel like both teams, whether they are picking first or picking second, I feel like they should probably take it out. But right now, looking at things, doesn't look like it. So it looks like we got the Yorick, I think, get banned out, and then we see. Then we actually see a few other bans as well, I think.
Yeah, so coming in from the bans coming in from the side of PnX Red, we see the Yorick, the Sejuani, and the Ilawi. And for NA phase, the first 3 bans is going to be Swain, the Malzahar, and the Mordekaiser. Still, we don't see a Senna, which is quite surprising. But on the side of PnX Red, we do see that they've picked up the ADC Caitlyn. So that is a very nice pick, especially coming out for Lemonade. He did an amazing performance versus Lanka Alliance on that second game. He played dominantly, and they really are trying to secure that Caitlyn out for him, and they did just that. And for the side of NA phase, we also see the Ahri.
Yeah, so the Ahri I feel like is something that they want to pick up to kind of block the pick coming in from the side of PnX, right? Because we know that Kasa actually plays that champion really well. I mean, we saw it in that second and third game. I mean, the second game against Lanka Alliance, as well as the third game as well. Right? In both games, he played the Ahri and he was playing it really well. And his positioning, even though he wasn't super aggressive during the lane against the Nautilus, in the end of the day, he was getting the charms off. He was getting all that burst damage off, and he was doing a really great job of just being super evasive and hard to bring down. So that was something that he was playing really well with. And looks like NFS looks like they want to actually pick that up for themselves and see if they can utilize it really well. But with that, so Echo, super interesting pick actually. So
I think Echo jungle this time, I think.
Yeah, so I think throughout most of the games that we have seen for both these teams, Echo has always been kind of banned out during that first phase, so no one really picked it up. and now we finally get to see it, and hopefully they'll have the true damage skin as well, you know, for a little bit of entertainment. And that super annoying support, the Tariq being picked up instead of the Leona this time.
I mean, I think it's super good, you know, knowing that, you know, the Tariq can also negate all the, you know, damage which is coming in from his ultimate. So that's a little good pick right there coming in for the side of PnX Red. We also see PnX Red banning out the Jinx and the Xayah. They want to take out as much ADCs as possible. Well, we see NA FaZe responding with a Misfortune ADC. So, and we also see them banning out the Rumble and the Veigar. So trying to, you know, ban their mid laners, you know, all of his picks. And we do see, you know, PnX Red has been answering by getting an Annie mid lane.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of control actually. So once again, you know, PnX, they really like having a lot of CC on their team. So the Tariq is available, the Echo, even though he has a little bit of delay in terms of landing his stun, I mean, it's still a stun nevertheless, and during team fights, you don't really pay attention. There we go.
Oh, we see a Malphite coming in from the top lane. He still hasn't locked it, or he has actually locked it. So we're waiting for the last pick from NA FaZe. We're going to have to see what it is going to be. But, you know, Osman, do talk to me about the PnX Red comp. What do you think about it?
I think it's very team fight oriented like usual. I mean, we always see them with a lot of control, but you know, they rely a lot on this Caitlyn, because the last time as well, that one mistake that Lanka Lions made in that game 2 against PnX Red, where the Caitlyn comes back into lane, gets a double kill, gets that shutdown goal, and then suddenly he just puts the entire team on his back and starts dishing out so much damage. I mean, that is definitely something you don't want to happen in this game, but it just goes to show it doesn't matter how big of a lead NA FaZe actually has, because if they do feed a few kills towards the ADC, you know, they can get really fed and they can always come back, and that is always going to be a possibility. And Zac being picked up. So
that's going to be very interesting. I mean, if you look at NA FaZe's team composition versus PnX Red has like an all-in sort of like, you know, team composition as opposed to NA FaZe, because they've got like a mix of everything. You know, they've got ins and outs, and they also have all-ins with that Misfortune and the Morgana. So it's going to be very interesting how they are going to be playing the map.
Yeah, I think NA FaZe, whenever they take fights, they need to have numbers, because otherwise there is so much really good pick-off potential on the side of PnX Red. But once again, before we do get into the games, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a shout out for our sponsors. So Premi, our digital banking partners, are online with us, making all your online transactions as well as any monetary transactions that you would like to make super easy for you. And with that, we also have Pereira & Sons. You know, grab yourself a really nice iced coffee, a sandwich, something, you know, chill, or something very tasty to fill yourself up during this time, and you know, just enjoy the rest of the games, because this is going to be a best of 5 share. So it's going to be a lot of games, or will we see the minimum amount of games? Because I believe we had this kind of hype for the Worlds, but then it ended up as a 3-0 and everyone was very upset.
Which was disappointing.
Yes, so hopefully, hopefully we'll deliver here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a good game. You know, knowing that, you know, Lanka Lions Red, you know, we also had an amazing performance by them. So hopefully we'll be expecting the same sort of like, you know, jam-packed action coming in to these finals as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we won't have it any other way.
Yeah.
I think we need to have that jam-packed action, because throughout all the games that we've actually cast, there have been some brilliant plays throughout of that. But anyway, with that, you know, you can even make even better plays with an MSI laptop, because it does give you some of the best specs in terms of gaming. Gives you that high-grade VGA card, the high-grade RAMs. It gives you the space that you need to download this really high-spaced or high, you know, high in GB filed. Like best example is Modern Warfare, the newest game that came out. I mean, it's like what, 175 GB to initially install, and then it came up with a lot more updates, so it's about close to 200 probably.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's a lot, and you know, even having a capacity for that, you know, great world-renowned brands as well as gaming peripherals for all you gamers from MSI. All right. So with that, looking at the comp right now, in terms of control, I feel like if the side of PnX Red just managed to hold their laning phase, because I feel like that's something that they've struggled with throughout a few of the games, because they play very safe, they play very careful. The only lane that's a little bit more aggressive is actually the bot lane, and that is only when they're very sure of getting a kill. And the, you know, jungler, he seems to like just kind of sitting in the jungle until he hits level 6. Maybe when he can, maybe if he knows like the flash is down or something, then he'll go in for like a rotation into that bot lane. But most of the time you don't see like other like for example, Lanka Lions, we saw Ace actually, you know, putting a lot of pressure on the map. But on the side of PnX Red, I mean, he just wants to kind of chill. He wants to get that farm. He wants to try and counter gank maybe.
I think one of the things PnX Red really has to focus on is good communication, because on the side of FaZe, NA FaZe, they're really good at communicating. They really know what they want in the map objectively. So if PnX Red can just play safe, not give out, I wouldn't say take a lot of risks, but just at least play until the mid to late game and hope that that the Caitlyn really carries this game for them.
Yeah, I think so. I think I very much agree as well. And with the Tariq on her side, I mean, she does have a decent amount of pressure that they can put in that lane, but obviously it's always going to be difficult with that Morgana as well as Misfortune. Yes, I remember the name. I remember the name. So so basically with the Misfortune as well as the Morgana in that lane, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. So once again, just reminding everyone again that we do have our sponsors on board on the stream. So we have Freeme, Pera & Sons as well as MSI. So once again, just talking about it, Freeme making your online transaction super convenient for you as well as super easy. Just eliminating the risk that you have from carrying all that cash on you. And then Pera & Sons with a really refreshing and very nice iced coffee that they can always pick up from them, and make sure that you keep yourself active throughout all these games. And then once again, just power your gaming through MSI, especially if you're someone who's always on the go, and having a laptop is always going to be super convenient, just to be able to carry it around, and with that grab their own gaming peripherals as well.
That's right.
So
amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, so just coming back into the comp right now. So what I wanted to basically say was, if PnX Red survive the laning stage, I feel like with the amount of control that they have, and especially with the damage immunity that comes into the play, especially with Tariq, because we saw initially when I think they were playing the Kindred. Remember that game? They were playing the Kindred and they had to mitigate a lot of damage coming out from the Syndra, and they timed it really well. So I feel like they can pull it off definitely with the Tariq as well. And there's a lot of damage actually coming out from the side of NA FaZe. But the problem is, with the amount of control that they do have, they can make the fights 3 versus 5. So if NA FaZe is not strong enough to actually do that, they're going to be in a very difficult spot. So you're going to get like building up your items, and then eventually getting into a QSS or a Zhonya's or something to buy time basically. But there is a lot of combo potential. You have the Tariq, you have the Echo to get on top of you. Then we saw Malphite being picked up in the at the end as well. So there's a Bombo combo that they have there as well. So there's a lot of work that they can put in, and kind of just eliminate someone very immediately if they get out of position, which is something that you be very careful of. But if NA FaZe do have a really good laning stage, I feel like you can go their way. So right now, from the draft, I'm weighing more on the side of PnX Red.
Oh, and we do see a beautiful animation screen right here just for you. You cannot get this when you're spectating a league game, all this stuff, the Baron timers, all that good stuff. You only get this when you're live and locked into GamerLK right here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always really nice to enjoy this sky cam and all these beautiful angles coming in. And with that, so we do have PnX Red on the blue side and NA FaZe on the red side.
Definitely playing defensive right here. I mean, everybody, all 5 members are at the bot side right now. They're, I think, waiting for a gank maybe. The Echo is just waiting at that bot side. I'm not sure what he's actually doing. But I mean, everyone's playing defensive right now. Nobody's trying to come up with any invades or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think, to be honest, PnX Red probably have some PTSD from their game against Noob Alliance because getting invaded so early and then getting bullied and even losing your red, and then even again taking your Grom taken away from you as well.
And we do see the what's that skin, the new skin?
The True Damage Echo, yes.
We do see that coming out right here.
Some really nice stuff there. Look at the animations coming out from the True Damage Echo. So going up for the E right there, I think, first I know beautiful orb coming in from Mari for the trade. But Annie, the moment she hits level 6, she's probably going to be looking into engaging on the Ari just because of the fact that she does have Tibbers and that stun as well, which is super annoying.
The Annie's also got Predator, so you pop it in and then you move really fast. You want to try and get that ultimate onto somebody as soon as possible and just pop the enemy champion right there.
Yeah, definitely, that's going to be a lot of burst damage. But in the same way, if Ari gets that charm with that orb, you're going to be doing so much damage on her as well. And she also has a really nice skin actually. Just appreciating a lot of the cosmetics that these players have actually picked up. And once again, here we see the Sky Cam in the mid lane. So we're taking a look at Hava taking on Kassa here. So it's going to be the Annie taking on the Ari. Obviously, Ari being picked up, it kind of denied from Kassa as well because he plays that Ari so well. But with a lot of mobility actually coming in, so it's going to be an interesting map.
And looking at these laners, I mean, they're just playing pretty passive right now. Malphite is a bit behind. Urgot does have 10 CS onto Malphite 7, but I think he will be able to catch up pretty soon. And in terms of their junglers, you know, they're just taking their standard lanes. We see Echo coming towards the bot side. Maybe he's trying to pull off a gank. It's not warded though, so I think Echo will be able to pull something off right here. We're just going to have to see.
I think it'll be kind of difficult. I think they need the lane to be pushed more onto their side.
But I don't think that they know that the Echo is right there, so it's a good opportunity for them to take. And I think the Zac is trying to go for Echo's blue buff right now, and I think he's pretty successful at trying to do that. Will Echo respond by trying to take Zac's blue buff? Only time will tell.
I mean, right now he's wasting a lot of time. I'm sure he's doing scuttle. I mean, there is a decent amount of gold, but in that time where he was just kind of sitting still, the Zac was moving around. He's getting a lot of resources that could have gone the way of the Echo, but now the Echo actually seems to have read the movement coming in, and he's actually going that way.
They're responding by taking their blue buff right now. Even Annie's moving over there just to, you know, give it some support. And I mean, I think both junglers have accepted the fact that, you know, we're taking your blue buff and, you know, we're just going to let things slide. So that is happening right now.
Yeah, getting the ground and the blue buff, I think, is always going to be super important. But right now, mid lane, actually a decent amount of trades. And unfortunately, Annie missing a little bit of a trade opportunity right there. But so far, you know, the Morgana as well as the Misfortune doing quite well in the bot lane. But so is the Taric as well as the, I keep forgetting these names, I'm really sorry.
Caitlyn?
Caitlyn, yes. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the Caitlyn and as well as the Taric are actually doing not that bad, but obviously with the Morgana on your side, you're going to be dishing out way more damage than, you know, you do take. And once again, that E coming in handy.
We see the Echo coming in mid right now. The Annie is super low, and Ori is just trying to commit to this kill right now. Ori pops in the Ignite and gets that first blood onto the Annie.
Oh, Echo's going in?
Yep, Echo's going in super hard right now. Can he get the kill? No, I do not think he's not going to be able to get the kill. And I think Zac is going to be able to secure that kill. And that is 2 kills going over for the side of NA FaZe.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you picked up on that fight, but after that initial kill, when the Echo flashed in and went in with his E, the Zac preemptively pulled him back. So he had already grappled onto him. So the moment he went, he could not actually get that one last auto right click off on the Ahri because he got pulled back towards the Zac. And that was a really heads up play. You need to have really fast reactions to make a play like that. And like we said, you know, in games like this, all these small plays are going to be the things that make the biggest difference. But what a play coming on from Zac, just being at the right place.
Yeah, I think one of the things Annie did not expect this Ori to burst her down so quickly, and that is what Kava just did, and he was able to get away with
look at this, right? So he goes in, he gets that this thing, and he gets pulled back right there. That one last, exactly, and then he gets smitten to death. And boop, goodbye.
Oh, we see Annie coming in mid right now with the Predator. Echo is also on the mid lane again, and I think they will be able to secure this kill onto the Ori, and that is a well-deserved kill right there going over to the side of PnX Red.
Yeah, definitely. I think very well executed, you know, baiting on the flash initially, but even then the Ahri actually managing to, you know, just use a little bit of that footwork.
That is what you got to be careful for. The Annie with the Predator coming in, you know, super fast. You're just charging at her, and, you know, they managed to pick up the kill, so good on them right there. And in terms of the gold lead, it's not that much. You know, we see like a 300 gold difference is not much at all.
Yeah, it's like bouncing between 300 and 200 right now, but even then I think it's too early to say what's actually happening. But so far in terms of the mid lane, I felt like, you know, that goes in, gets both.
2 knockups right there, and the Morgana is moving, and she will be able to get a bind. Hopefully, nope, there's not going to be a bind. Morgana also pops in there. Oh, there is an ultimate coming in by the Malphite and secures that kill onto the Morgana. So that is, wow, that's some good reaction right there from the side of PnX Red, able to secure that kill onto the Morgana. So that's a good kill picked up by...
Yeah, definitely. I think beautiful engage coming in from the Zac. I feel like if the difference in that fight, Shira, was whether Morgana lands her
Q
bind or not. Exactly. So if because she didn't land it, she overcommitted. She was like, okay, I'm going to run on a tower, take one tower shot. And Tarik's like, wait, you shouldn't be here. And then suddenly the top lane that has been like snooze fest, suddenly,
that's some good reaction from the side of PnX Red top laner. He initially he didn't even hesitate. He teleported, you know, got a kill, and that worked out really well for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think it worked out great for him. I mean, sure, you put your Malphite ultimate on cooldown, but it was so worth it right there.
I mean, just imagine, you know, Malphite ultimate, you know, being put onto that Misfortune, and he's just, you know, she's just popped right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely for sure. And then just getting any sort of kill, I think just being able to put your abilities on cooldown, because otherwise most of the time that it's going to be a Malphite versus Urgot in the top lane. One is not going to be killing the other. They're just going to be chilling and CSing unless one guy makes a really huge mistake, which is obviously not going to happen at grand final level. And with that rotation, just because he was 2 seconds ahead of the TP on the Urgot, he was able to get there first, and then setting up the kill for the Caitlyn there, as well as the Taric, on getting it onto the Morgana, which is huge. I mean, especially in this case, because so far the bot lane was kind of like a stalemate.
Ooh, we see the Malphite moving towards the red side, and he's all by himself right now. He should really be careful. And we also see the Echo in the bot lane trying to make a play towards his bot side. Only time will tell if he will be able to pick something up. But in terms of the gold lead, we also see PnX Red, taking the lead right now, which is super good. Just what they need in this sort of game, because if you can last, like until the mid to late game, then they will have a really good chance in order to try and close out this first game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talked about the control that they have.
Oh, they're already starting Dragon now. Okay, now the important thing about Dragon now, a lot of hype has been going on Dragon. It is super important right now to pick up Dragons, and we see Ari doing some poke damage, and top laner is just trying to hashing it out right there. I don't think nothing much is going to be happening, but I think the Zac is also moving towards the top side. He will be able to pick up a kill if he knocks his Malphite out, but Malphite just ults away. See you, bye, and he just gets out just like that.
He's like, sorry, I'm out. I'm not having any of this. But with that, they do get the dragon. So we'll have to wait for the changes to actually happen. Whether it will happen or not, sure. I think they picked up the Cloud Drake. So let's see what kind of changes will happen.
So I think the Cloud Drake gives you 10% cooldown reduction on your ultimate. Which is super important right now. We see the Ori trying to pull off an engage, but I think she misses her charm and she just goes back because you cannot really follow up if you don't have that charm right there.
Using her ultimate, but Ari doesn't have a super long cooldown on ultimate, but with that, obviously every time you use it, you do want to be able to get some sort of dividends being paid back, but not really a huge deal because the mid lanes right now is kind of even. It's just about 4 CS in terms of a difference, and we know with the way pushing in towards Ari, that difference can be made up quite soon.
The Echo is waiting around right now, trying to get an engage, but Morgana has to flash away right there. Zac is coming in with that jump, and the Taric ultimate is
a bit too late right there.
Yeah, a bit too late right there. It didn't pop off as soon as they hoped it to be, but that was a good pickup coming in by the side of NA FaZe, and yeah.
The reads coming out from the Zac is insane right now because he just seems to be in the right place at the right time. That initial mid lane engagement, and they went to the top lane and they forced out the Malphite ultimate. Now he can't be as aggressive, and then suddenly when the Echo wants to engage in the bot lane, Zac comes out of nowhere with the 3-man knock up, and then obviously with the stun follow up coming in from the root from the Morgana. Then you have the ultimates coming in from the Misfortune as well, just raining down all that damage. They managed to bring down the Echo, which is a huge part of PnX Red's win condition. So with that, they do manage to once again this time get the trade on favor of NA FaZe.
Oh, but I do think that PnX Red is trying to respond to what happened at bot by taking down that Herald right now. So as you know, Herald doesn't spawn once now, it spawns twice, and to cast a Herald it only takes like 1 second. So things are getting pretty OP. Like what's happening in the season right now is I think Riot wants you to end the game quicker.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
They want you to engage in team fights more quicker because dragons are important right now. Herald is spawning twice, so I think that's what they're trying to get at. They want more team fights. They don't want people just waiting around in the back line just farming and waiting till mid to late game for things to happen, right? So this is what they're aiming for, and it's definitely happening. We've seen a lot of fights right now. 11 minutes into the game, so things are going pretty good right now.
I mean, looking at the pace of the game, I feel like initially, obviously we saw certain games that did end fast when you had that really, snowballing bot lane.
Yeah.
But other than that, most of the games would take at least 30 to 40 minutes, and that's because everyone wanted to wait for certain items.
Yeah.
They wanted to play it safe, and that gave, rise to a lot of comebacks that could come up. But to be honest, in this one right now, with the Herald responding twice, and like you said, the Dragons being super important, you need to be fighting almost constantly. And those late game heroes that really thrive in that situation, suddenly, they kind of feel lackluster because the effectiveness in the early game isn't great unless the laning stage is really superb, which is actually quite difficult because when you're a very late game oriented champion, you actually have a really weak early game kit, but once you get a few, once again, it looks like
Malphite is trying to fight on to the Urgot right now, but Echo is also on the top side, and Urgot just has to respect that and just flash away, and yep, that is a good pickup coming in from the side of PnX Red. And Echo actually spawned the Rift Herald at the top side. We also see Zac at the top side. We see Ari moving towards bot. A lot is going to be happening right now. They are going to be getting this place. We also see Andy coming in with a beautiful ultimate, and that Malphite ultimate, the combo is just too real. They pop the Zac passive. Can they get this kill onto the Zac? And will they
he gets him!
Will they be able to get the kill onto the Urgot? What's happening right now? Okay, they are able to get this kill onto the Urgot, and we see Ari, Misfortune, and Morgana just invading the bot side, trying to get as much play as possible. Oh, that is a beautiful charm coming by the Ari. Yep, will they be able to pick up the skill onto Tariq? And they do pick up the kill onto Tariq as well. So that's two beautiful kills going over to the side of NA FaZe right there.
What a beautiful Urgot
that was a lot. That was
so
a lot which just happened, you know, top side and then bot side, and it's crazy. I mean, we also see PnX Red picking up the first tower of the game, so much deserved win right there. And
I think that would be a very successful. The Urgot! He actually cancels both! Gasa gets caught out, he gets taken down! Candy Panda in the right place once again, and with that, even furthering the lead. It's actually not too much, it's about 300 gold. But you know, with all
we
those.
do see an Infernal right now. It's been. The Echo is trying to go in. I don't know what he's trying to do there. He's all by himself.
He did.
Yeah, this is okay.
You did, son.
All right, okay. I really question why that Echo just jumped into the pit all by himself. So we also see a teleport coming in by the Malphite right now. I think they're just trying to delay to, you know, for them to not to get Dragon. They're just gonna back off because Zac has Smite and NA PnX Red, none of them have Smite. But I think they're trying to force this Dragon because
Zac has his Smite. Zac has his Smite.
And Zac picks up the Infernal Drake, right? That's a huge loss going over for the side of PnX Red because they also...
it's changing. The map is changing. This is it.
And it's going to be a mountain map right now, you know, where there's a lot of like terrains. So yeah, a lot of places where you can jump over.
Oh, that's going to be so cool, actually. I really love the way they've kind of, you know, upgraded this patch as well. It's so exciting to watch, and I think they put the heroes right now, I mean the champions right now.
Zac is trying to get an engage right now. The Ari is going to come in with a ult and a charm. Can they get the kill onto the Zac? And they do pick up the kill onto the Zac. And that's a lot of damage coming in from the side of PnX Red. They will be able to get away safely. And Urgot also picks up that top turret right there in exchange.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, they're just trying to be a little bit too aggressive.
Oh, the Ari is trying to commit onto this. She's all by herself. Okay, no, the Misfortune is also there right now, and that Caitlyn again picks up another kill. So good pickup by, you know, that was like a good response from the side of PnX Red.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ari just getting a little way too overconfident there, not having the Zac as well getting bursted down. Yeah, sure, they don't have the Malphite ultimate in that situation, but even then you need to kind of respect that they have more numbers. Your champions are not in the right spot, you know, to kind of get that engage off as well. And obviously Ari didn't have her ultimate or the flash that she wanted to use, so because of that, you know, she wanted to play it safe. So I don't think moving forward was the right decision. They did get the Infernal, and now the mountains did rise, but beautiful changes actually happening. But with that, they need to put pressure. I think at least the Urgot managed to get that T1 tower in the top lane, and Misfortune needs to be a little bit careful here.
Yep. We see the Zac over at the bot side as well. This Malphite is trying to just rotate and trying to get, you know, those ultimates and trying to just burst someone down as soon as possible. We also see the Annie rotating towards the bot side, and everyone is just coming in towards his bot side right now. I think a fight will be happening pretty soon. Only time will tell.
Yeah, they need Ari to kind of be here because she's the kind of, you know, utility that they do have to kind of clear out these waves. Just be able to, you know, burst it down really fast using your orb or your Q, and then, you know, just basically getting back and playing in a very safe position. And if they try to engage, you always have Zac to kind of counter initiate and start a fight, and then obviously the follow-up coming in from Urgot to kind of try and burst someone down. But with that, anyway, everyone's ultimate should be coming up in a little bit. So once again, we might see a play coming out from Malphite. Yeah. But like I said once again, you know, PnX Red, they want to play as a unit, they want to play as a team, and that's what their draft always talks about. You know, the stuns, especially the Annie stun, they have the Malphite stun, they have the Echo stun. There's so much CC that they have, and you can see every time the Malphite does use his ultimate, someone's going to die. So they still haven't built items to kind of deal with it. looking at things. So they've actually gone in for a few damage, a lot of crit damage as well, coming out from the Misfortune. We actually Luden's Echo being done on the Ari, Black Cleaver on the Urgot. So the Urgot's actually quite strong. And having that Black Cleaver is actually going to be super good against the Malphite at some point in this game because you remove so much armor.
And these guys are, PnX Red is going to be starting up the second Rift Herald, but I do not think that NA FaZe is just going to let this slide. They are coming in super hot, and I mean, PnX Red is just trying to get this Herald. Let's see what they can do. I think the Morgana is also making her way towards the top side right now. Misfortune is all by herself at the bot side. Everybody from PnX Red is just moving towards this Herald, and I think they will be able to secure this Herald as well.
They do manage to get the turret in the bottom lane, but even then, is it worth this giving up this second Herald for them? I mean, they tried, but with the numbers that PnX Red did bring in, it was quite difficult because they got the Caitlyn in quite early.
So right now, PnX Red is honestly playing together as a team right now. Oh, the Ori just blows up her flash right now. The Target has the ult, and we see the ultimate coming by the Malphite. Can they kill the pick onto? Can they get the kill onto this Misfortune? And we see a lot happening right now. Ori picking up the kill on that Annie. And it's a 1-for-1 happening right now, and both teams are just going to back away, getting just one kill each to their side. And we see the Herald being placed in by that Echo right now, trying to push as much as possible. We also see the Urgot pushing in that top lane. He's pushing in super hard, getting as much CS as possible, and I think they will be also able to get this tower right now, the mid tower.
Oh, Urgot trying to go in right now using his charge as well, but in that exchange, Shara, the biggest thing was the fact that the Caitlyn got the kill onto the Misfortune. Misfortune actually dies. They lose the Annie in exchange, but we talked about the Caitlyn and her performance in that previous game as well. So it's going to be some scary stuff because she already has that Infinity Edge done as well. She's going into more crit damage, which means she'll be chunking down a lot of these champions. So need to be really careful. Urgot so far right now is putting a lot of weight on his shoulders. So compared to the Caitlyn who's at 136 CS, the Urgot is actually at 133 with the 200 gold bounty on his head. So he has a lot of work that he needs to do. The Arya also needs to.
I mean, this is one of the questions. Like I feel like this Urgot is going to be very deadly when it comes to team fighting because he's level 12. He's got 200 gold bounty on him. He also has like about 35 CS gold CS difference on him. So he is doing a lot of work right now. And plus the fact that the Malphite is roaming most of the time. He's with his team. This Urgot gets to have solo experience all by himself. And I fear the moment when NA FaZe groups up and fights against Team Red. That is what I would really like to see. 5v5. Let's see what will happen during that time. And we also see a Mountain Drake being spawned right now. I don't think PnX Red is looking forward to giving this Drake over to FaZe, so they will be trying to defend it at all costs right now.
I mean, they don't have the Malphite right now. They don't really have. They're dealing with all the wards. They dewarded most of it. They do have a 1 ward now. Misfortune comes in as well. They need to try and take this angle.
Yeah, Malphite is coming in with a teleport right now. All 5 members are there at the Dragon Pit. Will they secure this?
Oh, the Zac goes in. The smite is there, but the blue team actually gets it.
Yep, they do get the kill right there. And we see the Malphite committing super hard right now onto that Misfortune. Will he be able to get the kill? They do get that kill, and this Urgot is doing a lot of work right now. He's just going back and forth. He's unkillable. And will he be able to pick up the kill onto that Echo? Echo gets away, and that's a shutdown going out to that Ori.
I mean, we just saw how tanky this Urgot is. He's just doing so much work. The Echo was just able to get out with using her abilities, and with that going in onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn actually might get this kill. The crits were there, and Zac, really nice. I think regretting his I immediately regret my decision. I mean, we have that voice line in Dota, so usually when you make a mistake.
Whoa. I thought the Caitlyn was gonna get that kill, but Caitlyn right now is sitting on 200 gold bounty. She's 3-1, doing super great. So a lot happened that team fight, and I think also PnX Red was able to secure the mountain.
Yeah, they were able to secure the mountain because the smite came out from the Echo to kind of finish it off. Zac wasn't able to use his, or he wasn't in range to actually kind of execute it, but with that, the Annie right now is super squishy. I feel like, the charm into the orb, if she has ultimate, I feel like she has a really great potential of actually outplaying the Annie quite hard, because this Ari is actually doing quite well. She's level 12 as well. We haven't really seen too much from the Annie because Annie is the one who's kind of getting picked off in most of these fights, but the biggest problem right now is for NA FaZe is that they're losing their Misfortune in every single fight because the Malphite is looking for it.
Yeah, the Malphite just completely alter like every single team fight when he can.
which is actually the right call because he can literally burst her by himself. And that is a really great call to make because that's a lot of damage that is actually on the side. Because Morgana does have that Essence River as well, so she is critting for quite a bit, and she has the BF Sword as well, but she needs to build into something that gives a little bit more survivability. But right now, not really working out for her because she's getting picked off. Obviously, every time she ultis, the Malphite ult is right on top of her. So there's a lot of trouble. But the Caitlyn actually is doing a really great job. You can see her position coming in. It's very positive. It's actually a great way to actually just sit in the right place and kind of just dish out a lot of that damage. And now building into the next crit item as well. She's picked up a few components for it, so she's actually doing a decent amount of damage. And but even with that, the Miss Watch is actually just about 9 CS behind in terms of CS, which is a positive sign. But obviously, when you get kills, you get way more gold. But once again, we just see PnX Red letting the Malphite play his own game and keep that teleport up to kind of join them. But everyone else is just kind of grouped up and trying to put pressure on the map.
We see in terms of the CS, it's not much of a difference except for that top lane. We see about a 30 CS difference right there. In terms of the gold, it's about 1k, not much at all. I mean, both teams, they can really come back on this game, and it just goes to show, just what kind of finals which we're expecting. Both teams are really even right now, so it's super awesome. What they can pull off. We hopefully, hoping that was going to be a team fight right there. We see the Annie coming in right now, going in super hard on that Urgot. I think they will be able to pick up that kill, and that is a shutdown going for the Annie. Well deserved right there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Urgot. I think he made the right decision because the fact that he can easily 1v1 the Malphite. He does have that black cleaver, so the armor doesn't really bother the Urgot too much. So I think going in was the right call, but just not knowing where the Annie was, obviously it's very difficult to predict movements coming on like that. With that, they do get the turret in the bot lane as well. Meanwhile, the mid lane is trying to be pressured out, and looks like they seem to be wanting to make a move here, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything without that Malphite to set everything up for them.
Yep, all 5 members are moving towards the mid lane right now, and wow, okay. The Echo just got bursted. He didn't even have time to ult, and we see everybody on the side of NA FaZe trying to pull up and engage right now. Ori uses his ultimate, Urgot uses his teleport, and can they do anything about it? And the Tark is just going to pop off his ultimate, so they're going to be invulnerable right there. And that's a beautiful Misfortune ultimate coming in for the side of PnX Red. And the Urgot ultimate as well, and they pick off actually 3 members for this on the side of NA FaZe, and I think that can also lead to a Baron right there.
Yeah, I think they can get Baron off this for sure because that's 3 dead. The Echo goes down as well, which is the most super important
thing. Very unfortunate right there because he wasn't even able to cast his ultimate. Ari just charmed, and he got bursted down. That was a huge throw coming in for the side of PnX Red right there.
Yeah, but what a beautiful engage. Really great communication coming out from NA FaZe. But the problem is, this Baron that they're doing is super slow right now, and doesn't look like PnX Red actually knows, and look at that, they're actually going for the next dragon,
I think
which is a really smart play. Which is a really smart play.
Because they have to answer to something, they don't have their jungler on board, so might as well just get the dragon and secure something for themselves.
Yeah, so it looks like the Echo has respawned, he's gone to that bot lane. Looks like it's another mountain. But then that means they'll be chunking down these objectives, Sarah.
But the thing is, like this new mountain race, right, it only gives you 8% magic resist and armor. Now since they have another second mountain, so it's going to be 16% armor and magic resistance for the side of PnX Red. So they're going to be pretty beefy and tanky right there.
Yeah, definitely they're going to be very beefy and tanky, obviously, with the changes. Link me to that site where you got all the updates. So I don't look bad.
I will do it after. I will do it after.
This Malphite is going to be super tough to bring down, obviously, once he having both the I think there's a way to check the buffs as well, and usually one team can have up to 5, a maximum of 5 buffs. So usually when you hit the tab button, it actually shows you
4.
4?
4.
Okay, so 4. Obviously I'm going to take your word for it. Nobody take my word, please. So anyway, with that, actually great job so far, and I think that was their 3rd dragon. They got
third dragon.
Yeah, so they got initially they got the cloud, they got 2 mountains.
Yes.
The Inferno went the way of FaZe.
Yeah,
so that means they can still pick up 1 more dragon.
And then the Elder will be spawning, and I don't know if you know about the Elder, like the Elder, once you pick up Elder, if a person has 20% health and you just hit basically an auto attack, he just pops off. 20% health. 20% health, and if you even hit an auto attack, anything, it doesn't matter, you just pop off. So it's pretty broken right now, and it feels good as well, you know, whenever you're trying to pick up a kill when you have Elder. Today I actually got a pentakill with Caitlyn while having an Elder. It was super cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, when you have a certain, it's like having a free lethality item.
Yeah, basically.
It's just like, you know, poop, you're gone.
A free dust blade right there every single time. It's super broken, you know, this Elder. So what's happening right now is that NA FaZe is just trying to push down this mid lane. You know, they're not trying to do much. They just want to push down. And we see Urgot at the bot side, we see Zac at the top side, and I think they will be able to pick up this kill. I mean, this tower, this mid-second tier tower.
Yeah, they should be able to get it. I mean, the Urgot is pushing in the bot lane, and this time Annie is not really there because Zac's in the top lane, and he has the information that Annie is in the top lane as well, so they're doing a really great job of just spreading out the damage coming in, because his Urgot is super confident, right? Yeah. I mean, he's not afraid of this Malphite. Sure, he has a lot of armor,
he's in a very great position right now, you know. So we also see, I think they picked up that second tier top tower.
Yeah, they got the second tier as well. Zac just kind of pressuring that side once again. And the Urgot is slowly withering down this Malphite. He needs to be so careful because these aren't normal minions. These are the Baron infused minions. So right now with the spread out working, Zac is working on the top lane. The bot lane, the Urgot is putting a lot of pressure on the Malphite. And he falls behind a low enough threshold that ult is going to be coming out from the Urgot, and that means you're going to die almost instantly.
Yeah, I mean, this Urgot doesn't even care, you know, he's not even, you know, giving much respect over to the Malphite. He knows that he can take this, you know, torrent down, and that's exactly what he's doing. Malphite is just going to back away, recall, and pay his respects right there. And, I mean, this is what, you know, NA FaZe should be doing with their Baron power play, you know, as we see on the right-hand top corner, and, you know, really, you know, using it to their advantage right there.
Yeah, but I feel like the next dragon is going to be huge for them. They need to pick up the next dragon because right now PnX Red they have three dragons on them right now, so which is giving them a lot of tankiness. It's giving a lot of
I think this is actually a mountain cloud soul. So you know, if they do pick up 4 dragons on side of PnX Red, then they do get a nice shield, right? So you get more resistance and, you know, armor resistance, magic resistance, and they also get a nice shield. So that will really help them a lot, you know, when they're going to be fighting NA FaZe right here.
Definitely, and we thought, you know, maybe with all these changes coming in, we were talking about how the games will get faster, but I feel like the games have gotten even slower right now. So we're currently hitting that, we're getting very close to that 30-minute mark in this game number 1. Game is quite dead even, but right now I think, you know, NA FaZe obviously with that Baron power play and that beautiful execution of the fight in the mid lane, giving them a 6k goal lead, but I feel like, you know, it is a lot, but PnX Red have come back with pretty much the same kind of deficit against Noob Alliance. So which is very interesting to see, and you know, they can probably pull it off as well in this time because they still have the capabilities to kind of one-shot everyone, because this Caitlyn is super strong right now.
We see the Echo trying to go in on the Morgana. Morgana is all by herself right now. What is she trying to do? We see the Caitlyn trying to use that ultimate onto the Morgana, just backs off, not going to be doing much. And I think they're trying to set up for that dragon, which is about to happen.
Yeah, so it'll probably pop up when he wants to pop up, but with that, you know, both teams is kind of, they're ready for it. They know that this fight is super important. And
Ari is just there on the side, and she's going to be getting a charm onto that Malphite, and we see the,
he's going in, nice.
Urgot just pops off super hard, and they are able to kill that Ari as well, and they are committing onto this Urgot right now. He has no ultimate. They're trying to commit, and Echo has to ult away right now because Urgot is just doing too much damage. And I mean, we see on the side of FaZe, they are just pushing down mid. They're just breaking that tower down. I think they will be able to get an inhibitor as well. Wow, okay.
I don't think this is possible if Candy doesn't get this Urgot. This Urgot literally just, you know, 2 against 5 situation. They kill the Malphite. He almost kills the Echo, forcing him to ult all the way back. Getting 4 champions to chase you,
crazy.
I think that's some insane play.
I mean, this Urgot is level 16. We have to understand that, you know, he's super. You know, it's exactly what he was trying to do from the beginning. He was just there all by himself, and their FaZe is also able to pick up that mountain Drake. So that's, you know, an infernal and a mountain going over to the side of, you know, NA FaZe. So well-deserved play right there. I mean, this Urgot is actually a problem to try and deal with, you know, because no one can stop him.
Yeah, and now with this addition of the Mountain Dragon to their repertoire, according to what you say, it makes it even more difficult for them to bring him down. So, you know, from here on, I feel like, you know, 5k goal lead quite big, like we said. And, you know, if NA FaZe, if the execution is as good as they've been kind of executing it in the current time, I feel like, you know, if they get this Baron, we might see the end of the game. But we'll be super careful right now, and just I think that grouping up kind of just making them suffer a little bit, because I felt like NA FaZe played the map a lot better. They got a lot of resources off the map.
Yeah, I think after a Baron play, like NA FaZe has been able to take a lot of control over this game, and that is just what they're doing. I mean, we see Candy Panda going in towards the bot lane again. He doesn't care because he knows that he's powerful, he's strong enough, so he's just pushing through. He also has the teleport, which is available if they if he wants to teleport for a team fight. And PnX Red, we see them playing pretty passive right now. They are not able to do anything, but they commit heavily onto this Misfortune right now. Misfortune flashes away. Can they get the kill onto their Misfortune? And Echo is super committing onto that Misfortune, but unable to get that kill right there.
Yeah, I mean, she can always just go back and try and join the fight. But look at the bot lane right now.
What we're seeing right now, the Urgot is just pushing through. He doesn't care. And PnX Red is super desperate right now. They need something. They're just waiting to try and get something because his Urgot
is going to end the game.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to stop TPs right now.
Yeah, they're stopping everything right now. Can they stop all these recalls? Because that is just what they need to do in order to try and get the kill. Malphite is coming in with a beautiful ultimate, gets the kill onto the Misfortune. And PnX Red, they're trying to recall right now because Urgot is just destroying the Nexus towers.
Echo doesn't mean anything right now. And he tries to get out, and the flash coming in from the Morgana, the ultimate is there, and he gets taken down. And the Urgot, in the meantime, they force back 2, but with that, they can probably group up and go in, and now they're trying to catch the Caitlyn. He gets the grab on, and guess who's here, Shara? It's going to be the Urgot right there, but looks like they're not going to come in for it too hard.
And I think that is 2 inhibitors down for the side of PnX Red right there. And as we see the match social hype meter, we see NA FaZe coming in with 73% right there. That's super crazy right now. Definitely showing why they are, dominating this game.
Where have we seen most like this before? Thinking face.
Never.
No, we have. Very recently when we elected our new...
Oh. Let's not get into that. Let's get into the game right now. Let's not talk about all that.
No, I'm just talking about just the votes. I mean. But anyway, with that, beautiful to see a match probably made. I believe everyone at home has voted for their favorite team, and you're actually seeing NA FaZe at 73%. That is super nice to see, and obviously PnX Red right there taking a decent amount of damage in terms of what their base was. They did manage to get a few kills, but even then I feel like NA FaZe executing this play so very well. And guess what? Urgot still has TP.
That's right. I mean, like looking at this game, like early to mid game, it did seem like, Red was really holding up their game. But, when we went from that mid to late game, I mean, FaZe is, having a lot of control over this game. I mean, they're just not letting, Red breathe right now.
Yeah, and I really like the items coming out from the Urgot, kind of adding to his tankiness as well. He's gotten some armor, he's picked up that black cleaver, he's gotten the death stun, he has gone in for the one you make before the hit.
Beautiful.
Yeah, actually, so once again, the sky cam just going a little extra in terms of, giving us a view here. But with that, looks like...
Also,
so with that, looks like the next Baron play coming in. The Ari going in.
Yep, all by yourself right now. We also see the Urgot right now, and he's just popping in by. He just doesn't care. Tari pops in his ultimate right now. They are able to get that kill onto the Ari. And Misfortune coming in with a beautiful ultimate. Oh, that is a beautiful Echo ult too. Echo was able to secure that kill onto the Morgana.
But that is
Misfortune gets the kill onto the Echo right now. And Annie's coming in super hot. Will she be able to get the kill? Nope, she just dies. And we see Misfortune with a double kill. Urgot is just pushing through, gets another double kill as well. And with that being said, I think that concludes game number 1.
I think this is definitely going to conclude game number 1. But what a beautiful engage coming in from this Zac. That is insane, the amount of people that he can catch out. Beautiful 3-man knock-up right there, and the Urgot just not dying. Yeah, they got so much time. They got the they got the ultimate off from Taric. They got the kill on the Ari.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that happened, but obviously we'll just wait for that a little bit. But what a game number 1 here in NA FaZe with some very, very crisp execution coming there in game number 1. Early game it seemed a little bit wonky, especially with the rotations coming in from the
It seemed like anybody's game,
exactly.
Early to mid game. But after a certain amount of time, I mean, FaZe really did come out ahead, and they had a lot of control. They did not let PnX Red even breathe for a second. And that Urgot, man, unkillable. He was just you have to deal with that Urgot right now because his top laner is, you know, one of the biggest problems, I should say, you know, for PnX Red. So
yeah. So before we get into more and start breaking down the game, Shara will be heading into a very short commercial break, and once we come back, me and Shara are going to be breaking down the game and seeing what really went well for the side of NFAs and what went really bad for the side of PnX Red. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after this short commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GamerLK Clans League of Legends League GCLL Grand Finals here in the Pro League, where we just concluded game number 1. So Shara, you touched on a few points just before we got into that little bit of a commercial break, but once again, just coming back, that Urgot was a beast.
Yes. He was unkillable right there, you know, and he was doing his thing, you know, he wasn't letting anyone, you know, pay attention to him as well, you know. We saw those times when the Malphite was, you know, roaming all around, you know, bot lane and, you know, trying to get those, you know, he had some really good engages as well, but that Urgot was just in that top lane doing his thing. I think, you know, at one point he was level 16 while, you know, everyone on the side of, you know, PnX Red was like level 14 and minimum, you know, the lowest was like level 11.
Yeah.
What is a level 11 gonna do to a level 16?
Yeah, I think the only one who even tried to match up with him in terms of levels was the Malphite, because he was actually quite making, I mean, sure, he was roaming a lot, but I think the trade-off for that was obviously the Urgot getting a lot of farm, and, you know, whenever he had the ultimate rotating into those team fights, and the amount of space that he created to give his team opportunities, and I think like that's something I feel like NFAs does really well, like just that split push pressure.
Yes, that is exactly what they do. They give a lot of, you know, like Candy Panda really gives a lot of priority, him just trying to push out that top wave, and the team is just doing their thing. So he has a lot of that, so they really rely on Candy Panda going over to a side lane and just pushing the heck out of everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a great opportunity that they used. The Baron plays, the Dragon plays, even though they gave up very early Dragons. And because PnX Red was kind of grouping up, they were trying to go. They were putting a lot of pressure onto the Misfortune. They killed him multiple times, but with that they actually they all ignored the Urgot, and in the end he was the one who kind of came to bite them back. Not to take anything else away from the team, I felt like the RE played amazingly well, so pumping up a lot of damage. But in the end of the day, everything happened because the Urgot was just super strong.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking a very short break, and we'll be coming back in a short while.
Another shot. Another shot too, yeah.
And another shot as well. So basically, for game number 2, so when the teams are ready, we'll be here. So for now, we're going to step up for a little bit, and when we come back, we'll have more exciting action in the grand finals. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GamerLK Clans League of Legends League, also known as GCLL Season 4, where we just saw the conclusion of game number 1. So I'll be once again your caster for the day, Darko, and joining me is going to be Shera. So something that we need to specially mention before we get into this game is the fact that Team NFAs does have an upper bracket advantage, and that is why you saw them with 2 points and not 1. So in that case, if they do win this game, this will be it, and they will be your grand champions for the Pro League here for GCLL, which is very unusual because we actually thought last times, you know, the reigning champions would be able to make their ways into the grand final, get that rematch against NFAs, but unfortunately they fell short against PnX Team Red in that lower bracket finals in the Pro League. So with that, we'll be getting into game number 2, Sherrod, and obviously, none of this would be possible without our online digital banking partners and our sponsors, Freeme coming on board once again, just eradicating the need for carrying money in your purse, because a lot of us, especially when we're having a lot of cash in our pockets, where we feel a little bit anxious, we feel a little bit, nervous, especially because, anything can happen, you can get lost, what if someone swipes your wallet, you're going to be losing so much, and then it just eliminates that, and it basically makes you be able to carry around all that cash in your phone, so it's super convenient. Even if you lose it, it's very secured. And obviously then you have Pera & Sons, you can grab a really nice chilled iced coffee as well, a few sandwiches as well as a few shorties.
We definitely love one right
yeah, definitely. We will love some ourselves, and obviously if you're Sri Lankan and you don't know what PnX is, you probably best go to PnX right then. And then obviously we have MSI, one of the world's most renowned laptop brands, as well as gaming peripheral brands, you know, making it very convenient for you guys to just go around anywhere, actually just carrying it. But it's easier than kind of, you know, shipping your PC from country to country, you know, just put it in a laptop bag, you put it over your shoulder, and, you know, get going. So that's something very convenient that comes in with MSI, and obviously it is for gamers, and, you know, it's always very nice to have yourself one of those machines. And with that, game 1 concluded. Quite interesting, actually. It was very close in terms of how the game kind of went, but, you know, end of the day, Candy Panda putting the team on his back with some assistance coming in from the Ari as well as the Zach with some amazing engagements and a lot of great communication. But with that, we'll be getting into game number 2. So once again, it is going to be Caitlyn banned out actually this time, very early into the game. This time Morgana. It looks like the Yorick once again has been taken out, and so is a few other champions. So let's see who's going to be the first pick.
Ooh, the first pick going out for the side of FaZe. We see the Mordekaiser coming in right now. I think the Red did ban Mordekaiser in the last game, but now this time, you know, FaZe is going to be picking up that Mordekaiser, and we see on the side of PnX Red they have picked up the Xin Zhao, so it's going to be a new champion this time, not going to be the Echo for the jungler. And we also see the second pick coming in. We see Jinx right now. That's super interesting. I've never seen a Jinx in pro play for quite some time right now, and they actually do lock in the Jinx, so that's going to be a very interesting pick right there.
Oh, the Senna is here! Oh, let's go!
Are we going to see? Oh, that's a Senna pick right there. Man, Senna is super strong. We were just talking about it before the game even started. Senna is actually really busted. She's super OP, and we also see FaZe picking up that Ari because it's worked out well for them.
Definitely.
So, you know, just going in with that Ari pick right there.
Yeah, so before anything, I'm really sorry to cut you short right there, Shredder, but before anything else happens, I need to get this pun out of my system. Let's not jinx it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm waiting for everybody, you know, to put in the full stuff, the dots, you know, like see what's happening over there in the chat right there. But, you know, we see Red coming in with a Tryndamere right now, which is, you know, something which their top laner has been playing a lot and has had a lot of success with. So we'll see how this goes in for the side of PnX Red, you know. And
to be honest, I feel like Tryndamere is just one of those champions who, if played properly, is actually really good to trade against Mordekaiser, especially with that attack speed buff as well as the crit. And unlike most other champions, you know, most of the time when, you know, Mordekaiser, you kind of want to kite. You know, you want to kind of attack, go back, and then use your Q, get back, use the grab, maybe hit one more time, proc your passive, get your Q again, and that's where the damage comes from, right? And then when you have Tryndamere, who just, you know, uses one of his spells, you get slowed by a certain percentage, your attack speed goes down, and then suddenly Mordekaiser can't get that passive proc, suddenly you lost half of your HP, and then, like, even if you go on that 1v1, he just ults, you can't kill him.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about the Tryndamere, because, you know, he does, you know, whenever he pops in his ultimate, he has a 5-second, you know, like, he's invulnerable for 5 seconds, so he can do whatever he'd like. So it's definitely, he's kind of like a tank, you know, with that ultimate right there. And we also see PnX Red picking up that Lulu, so it's going to be a Jinx and a Lulu bot lane, you know, super, you know, strong right there, you know, especially if they can get to that late game. So
right now, actually, PnX Red actually going out of their comfort zone, I feel like. I mean, some of the...
They're risking it right now.
Yeah, they're risking it. Because, I mean, most of the games that we saw, they really prioritized a lot of that control, you know, a lot of that team fight presence. But right now, they know that it's very difficult for them to kind of deal with it, especially when you're playing against NFAs, because the split push pressure is coming in, you know, throughout most of the games, and that makes it very difficult for them to try and execute the plans that they want to do. So with that, looks like they've kind of adjusted to the situation. They've picked up the Xin Zhao, who actually A-Slot plays really well. I mean, we saw him in those few games, and he was playing Xin Zhao, you know, really great positioning, using their ultimates really well, and, you know, having a Lulu to kind of reinforce you, and especially the Jinx if he gets into a very tough spot, and having the Polymorph for disable. But they do have the Vayne in the bot lane along with the Senna, so I feel like the bot lane will be looking at a lot of damage, especially even with Jinx and Lulu both available. I feel like, you know, the damage coming out from Senna as well as the Vayne is going to be very, very high.
Oh, that's going to be a Nico mid lane right there. Very interesting right there. Very interesting picks overall for the side of PnX Red right here. You know, we're seeing a lot of different champions in terms of what their champions can do. It's definitely, you know, a little bit of poke, a little bit of, you know, back and forth going right there. And we also see NFAs completing their draft with picking that Vayne and that Zac. You know, Zac's worked out pretty well for them that last game as well. So that is going to be securing their win. And Azman, what do you think about the team composition right now, what you're seeing?
So right now, in terms of OP, I feel like NFAs has a decent amount of picks, but I feel like with the change in the playstyle coming out from PnX, I feel like we shouldn't count them out. But in terms of looking at the draft and looking at the picks, I feel like NFAs right now, they have once again, it's just about buying a little bit of time for them, and once they do get that, get the few items that they need to kind of deal with most of these champions, I feel like they will definitely come out on top. But obviously, it comes down to how you play on the day and that game, that certain very game that you're playing. So things can go wrong, and certain timings can not be achieved. So, but with that, they do have a decent amount of survivability. Like we said, the Tryndamere is going to be a huge nuisance, and obviously with the ultimate coming in from Lulu, even more survivable, and obviously the polymorph coming in as well. So that's going to be a lot of stuff. And previously in that last game, when we saw the Ahri being picked up on the side of NFAs, and they picked up the Annie to kind of deal with him, it wasn't really that effective. Sure, there was a few rotations coming in from the jungler in that game, and they did manage to get a kill, but overall that whole game the Ahri was dominating quite heavily, and the Annie was getting picked off over and over again, and just dying in every single engagement. But with the Nico, he does have a lot of evasion. He has a lot of ability to kind of bamboozle the enemy. I mean, because obviously you can send an illusion one way, you can go a different way. So you can always play around with the mines of the side of NFAs, and if you're really good at that hero, obviously, and once again, just getting having a little bit of control and a lot of burst damage, a lot of poke, like we said, and just having a decent amount of wave clear. Because in the last game, I felt like the Caitlyn could have gone in for more damage, but she had to itemize to kind of start clearing out the super minions as well as the waves in general from range, because they didn't have anyone who could do that. Because on the side of NFAs, you can always just put the Ahri, she uses the orb, it goes forward, it comes back to you, you don't have to get out of position to kind of clear off the wave as well. And because of that, they have a lot of defensive capabilities and puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team to try and take some sort of action. So in this game it might be a little bit different, but once again I feel like if the Tryndamere, like you said, if he has played the hero enough, I'm pretty sure he has played the Mordekaiser matchup, which means if he does manage to win this top lane, it's going to be really great for them, because I feel like that split foot pressure more than the Mordekaiser, I feel like the Tryndamere is obviously going to do a lot of work, because all that attack speed, the damage coming out from him, he just needs a decent lane. So he needs to be enabled, and obviously so we talked about the jungler as well on the side of PnX Red, right? So, and I told you how they've made a complete 180 turn in terms of how they are playing, I mean how they've drafted, because usually we see very late game oriented or very farm oriented junglers coming out from them. Even in the last game, the Echo is more of a you want to kind of sit, get your levels, and then start being effective on the map. I feel like he was pressured to kind of go into all these lanes and put pressure, and they did manage to kill the Misfortune quite a number of times. But end of the day, he loses out on so much, because Zac is farming around. He takes the Echo's camp, he takes his camps, and Echo is trying to make these ganks happen, and he's wasting a lot of time by just kind of chilling in that bot lane. But in this case, he's picked up a Xin Zhao, super strong at level 2, super strong at level 3, and he does so much damage. He has a stun, he does a lot, and he has really great mobility at that point as well. So that capability coming in just indicates to me that PnX Red want to play a very fast, very aggressive game, and I think it's going to be on the back of whether this Xin Zhao can deliver his role in this game or not. Because if he can get flashes off, like if he can force them to use their summons, if he can get, even if he gets a successful gank, I think it just puts so much pressure on the other side, especially if he can help the Tryndamere out, because most of the time we don't see top lane being ganked that often, unless they're going to contest for the blue or some sort of jungle camp, or they run into the Scuttle or Herald. But in this matchup, it is a interactive matchup. It's not like your Shen versus Garen, it's like I'm going to spin, clear the wave, and it's just like snooze fest. In this, it's actually you're going to see a lot of engagement happening in the top lane. We're going to see the Mordekaiser using his Q, using his grab, trying to get the trades off against the Tryndamere. Tryndamere is going to look for his opportunities, use a rage bug, get in a few right clicks, and then he has the sustain with the heal as well if he wants to use it.
And I think that's what this I think the Xin Zhao and the Tryndamere is trying to pull off. Xin Zhao trying to come in for that top side, trying to shut down that Mordekaiser as soon as possible, and plus Xin Zhao is really good early game, but let's also not forget that the Jinx and the Lulu very, very strong late game. If you can get to that late game like mode, then Jinx will really pop off in that late game. And
I mean, Jinx is just one of those very, very terrifying ADCs, but obviously one thing she does lack is a decent amount of mobility, and you know, compared to Vayne, who has that tumble every few seconds to kind of use it, get that bonus damage, he has a lot of mobility, so even if he gets caught out, he has at least he has something to kind of you know, kind of just work with to get out of, you know, these sticky situations. But Jinx, you can use one dash, and then after that if you get caught out, you're just dead. But obviously you can dish out a lot of damage. So this laning stage, I feel like if the Lulu can protect the Jinx properly, and they can, you know, take the team fights, because we know, right, the PnX Red ADC, his positioning is really good. It's good, like, you know, and they really put a lot of emphasis on vision. It's just the fact that, you know, they didn't have anything to deal with the pressure coming out from NFS, and with the changes in the draft,
especially that top side, you know. So as long as they can try and, you know, have an answer to that top side, you know, NFS Candy Panda, you know, as long as they have an answer for him, you know, they should be able to honestly hold up this game pretty well.
Yeah, because even in the last game, if you take a look, I mean, if you take a look at how many times the Morgana actually died, I think every single engagement that they had, the first target to go down was the Morgana. And, you know, because she kept getting comboed, she ulted, she got a little decent amount of damage out, but, you know, Malphite came in, at some point he could almost solo her. And then, you know, with obviously Annie dropping the ulti on Mr. Tibbers on top of her as well, there was really no guarantee of her getting out, and obviously the Urgot was the biggest issue. And that's what we're talking about, you know, the performance coming out from Candy Panda, from the Zac, from the Ari, you know, those three, the champions have just been putting so much pressure, and they've been doing a really great job. The Morgana, I felt like she did her job. She was getting off the, you know, the black shields off, she was removing a lot of these stuns and controls coming out from the side of PnX Red. But in this game, they don't have that. So this game is a little bit different. They wanted to go in for the Senna. They picked up the Senna. She has a little bit of few disables here. She has a lot of range, poke, obviously, like we said, and much better Lux. So Lux is now the budget Lux, and you know, Senna is like the proper Lux. I mean, so how things have turned.
And definitely talking about this Lux, you know, I mean, this, my bad, Senna.
Lux.
Confusing me right now.
Sorry,
but the Senna, you know, super OP champion right now. You know, we were talking about at the start of the game, you know, how OP she was, and I really wasn't expecting, you know, any of the teams to be picking up the Senna, because no one actually cared for her in the first game. But FaZe is actually pulling off this Senna for the first time in competitive as well, Sri Lankan competitive right here. So we are in for a treat right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, coming down to obviously once again execution, and obviously having the sneak as well is super nice, because you can literally sneak your entire. I just thought of something.
What is it?
Imagine level 1 invade. Senna picks up sneak. And literally sneaks the entire team into the jungle to go for an invade.
But I think they can still see.
Yeah, they can still see, but it'll be cool.
But you can. I get where you're going with it. It's actually not a bad tactic, you know, to follow through. So
and because you have this in setup, right?
Let's hope NFAs, you know, hears that, and you know, they pick up on that, you know.
Go for it, go for it.
Deliver.
Level 1 sneak, level 1 sneak.
Deliver something really cool to us right here.
I mean that's what we kind of want to see. But anyway, once again, just reminding all of you who just tuned in, who are watching in from home. So right now, we only concluded game number 1, but NFAs has 2 points because they have the upper bracket advantage, winning throughout the upper bracket, obviously coming into the semi-finals upper bracket, defeating the reigning champions from last year, Lanka Lions. Actually, the last few years, they've been the defending champions, managing to beat them, coming into the grand finals, and PnX Red actually managed to take out Lanka Lions in that best of 3 encounter in the low bracket finals as well, and now they are in the grand finals. So the games are definitely by no means over. I mean, PnX Red obviously can make that comeback once again, you know, because we saw them time and time again. They just executed really well. But you know, NFAs right now, I feel like they're on top of their game. They're playing really top tier league. I mean, we can understand it by watching, right? The decisions that they're making, how they're making, exactly, their vision game, also how their movements across the map are, and how much. So like thinking about it, right? So you have so much resources on the map. So you have your jungle camps, you have your creeps, obviously. Sorry guys. So anyway, so obviously you have your jungle camps, you have the dragons, you have the double herald right now with the new pathings that are coming out. So there's so many ways you can utilize this map. You can use it aggressively, you can use it defensively, but the most important thing is getting farm on your core champions, right? And I feel like when it comes to phase, they know exactly where to put what champion, where they should be playing, what what kind of farm they should be getting. Where, you know, in exchange, or in the on the other side of the spectrum, where we see PnX Red, they like to group up. They want to fight early. They want to push that, you know, team fight boundary. Okay, we have so much control. We're going to take early team fights. They're going to bait them into it. They're going to go for every single object, because we saw them. They picked up Cloud Dragon, they picked up 2 Mountain Dragons, they were set up, you know, do a lot of damage. They were set up to get that Baron, because they're going to do insane amounts of damage to that Baron as well.
It was going really well for, you know, PnX Red, but the only problem which they had was, you know, trying to deal with NA phases as top laner. So, you know, he was the one, you know, who was putting a lot of pressure. He was, you know, turning the tides and, you know, getting back into like the mid to late game. All of a sudden, you know, we have this beefed up Urgot and just unable to try and deal with him. So hopefully they do learn from, you know, what happened the last game, and they adapt to it, and hopefully they will have an answer towards this. I think it was a Mordekaiser, right?
Yeah, it was a Mordekaiser this time. So it was Mordekaiser, Senna, Vayne, mid lane was Ari, and the jungle was a Zac. So on the side of PnX Red, once again we had the Nico Ni in the mid lane. We had bot lane was going to be the Jinx as well as the Lulu. So we had Xin in the jungle, and in the top lane we had that Tryndamere.
Very interesting pick coming in, you know, with the Tryndamere. You know, we don't see a lot of Tryndameres in the competitive play, but hopefully, you know, PnX Red top laner Nishastik will be able to actually pull it off right here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, try harder mode on. So, you know, he wants to get those tied up.
It's also like, you know, they've got nothing to lose, so they really have to, you know, put like everything on this game, you know, and hope things work out for them.
Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, even when, you know, when all these changes in patches come, and, you know, all these changes in the map and all these, you know, in general, when these changes come and hit you, and especially when you're playing in a very competitive environment, because I've been through it a few times. I think sometimes I feel like the best choices you can make, because obviously in a few days it's very difficult to kind of okay, what's the meta right now, how are we supposed to be playing this. You can't figure all of that, because there's so many variants in how you can play the game of League of Legends, right? And that makes it so difficult that you can't figure out a meta in a few days, because I think it came out in Thursday, on Thursday, and then they only had literally like 3 days to kind of figure out everything. So at that point in time, it's always better to just go to your roots, pick up those champions you're super comfortable on, and play your own game. Right? Because some people, they really like, okay, this is the meta, you know, we follow it to a book, okay, this is how we need to go, okay, well, you know, it's like you write down everything in a book, but that's not how, you know, esports works. That's not how any game works. You have to play through intuition, prediction, experience.
Definitely play to your strengths, you know, that's what we're doing.
So with that, so just explaining to everyone on to why me and Shira are talking so much about the game is the fact that the game currently, game number 2 is currently paused. So we're just waiting for one of the players. I think he has a little bit of a technical issue. We're just trying to fix it, and once we do, obviously we'll be getting into the game. So till then, you guys will have to look at our very, very pretty faces and just, you know, listen to us talk for a little bit. So you guys can see the game is currently paused. I believe it is for the side of PnX Red, it looks like. Or maybe it's just in the middle, I mean, on the PnX Red side. Maybe it's not exactly, So, yes, beautiful faces. Thank you, Ramesh. So you'll be looking at our beautiful faces, not pretty faces. Alright, thank you so much for the correction, Ramesh. But with that, it's going to be interesting, obviously. So, in terms of matchups, right? So, one thing that we have, I mean, we should probably try to figure out on ourselves as well is, like, I think one thing we don't really touch on, because we really don't, we aren't able to most of the time just see what they are picking into. So runes are something that are super important in League of Legends. I have figured that out the hard way, because kind of figuring out what runes you need to get in what matchups changes the way you play, and it gives you a much bigger kind of perspective onto the game. And we were talking about how Annie with Predator, you know, moves really fast, gets on top of you, you really can't escape. You have Tibbers being dropped on you suddenly, and you're taking so much burst damage in a few seconds. So with that, you know, it's going to be super important, but sure, looks like.
And with that being said, we are about to get into the game. Right now it's been on pause, and we are 45 seconds into the game. Who do you think will take this, you know, grand finals? And right now, currently, NA FaZe is sitting on 2 wins under their belt, and let us see if PnX Red, can, they pulled out this, pretty tricky comp, the unexpected comp rather, and I mean, it's just, saying that, they're going all out this game, they have nothing to lose, and they will play their hearts out. So definitely let us know in the comment sections who is going to be taking this win. Support your favorite team right now, because we definitely want to see that, cheer coming in for your top
favorite team. Yeah, definitely. So do please let us know in the comments whether you're up for NFS or PnX Red. So once again, that's super close.
Super close right now.
Super close.
51 to 49. That's definitely some hype right there. Definitely what we're expecting on this final,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last game it seemed like very, very NA favored, but in this game it looks very even. It's 51 to 49, just going on the back of a little bit of that momentum. So thank you guys once again. But you can see this time the matchup is way better, I feel like, for the Nico against this Ari, pushing out the lane, getting all that CS, and also getting a decent amount of poke in between as well. Oh, it's Nemo! I'm sorry.
Nemo?
Yeah, I mean the Lulu skin, it's Nemo.
I see a Dory right there with the, the pixie right there. the blue Dory.
I see Nemo. I found Nemo, guys!
I mean, I think it should be Nemo and Dory right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mix, right? Especially with the skin color. But with that aggressive movement coming out from the Senna, look at the damage, look at the trades coming out.
That's a lot of poke coming in for, the side of, NA FaZe and PnX Red, dishing out a lot of damage. Both teams are currently even right now. The Jinx is a little bit low, but there's nothing too much to get excited over.
How is that fair? Look at the range, man.
I know, it's crazy. That Senna Q is super annoying to try and deal with, I swear.
I mean, and the best part is like, see, something that we take notice quite heavily in the game of the Dota, is that, usually we see the support trading with both the ADC as well as the support. So, and then that way basically you waste a lot of regen that the ADC as well as the support on the other side have. And, right now Senna is trading against both these champions on her own, while the Vayne is free to kind of just CS with no pressure whatsoever.
Oh, we see Zac in the mid lane right now, trying to get a pull onto that Nico, but can the Nico get away? The beautiful charm coming in by the Ori and secures that kill. That is super beautiful. I mean, the Nico flashed as well on top of that, so that is quite a disadvantage going to the side of PnX Red, and we see NA FaZe just poking out in that bot lane. Senna just, putting out that Q, dealing tons of damage, and PnX Red just has to back away and respect their bot lane.
I mean, we were talking about the OP, and we were talking about the Nico and how she has that escape ability. But with the Zac tether Q, oh my god. Here we see the tether was right there, the charm to follow up, the orb goes in front, the ignite, and just on that, on the return back to Ari, getting the kill, baiting out the flash, getting that kill, and now Ari has such a huge advantage in the lane because she has the flash advantage in this lane right now. Meanwhile, top lane, it seems like it's kind of even. He obviously sort of sustained. We actually saw the Zinza rotating in the top lane, but couldn't pull off anything to get the Mordekaiser there. He still has his flash available, still has the TP as
right
well.
now, both these junglers are, responding while taking their, both their blue buffs, so, nothing much is happening, but we do see on the side of, PnX Red, they have warded towards his top side.
Here comes the tumble once again, main going in.
Super aggressive, but unable to get that condemned. But doing lots of damage towards this Jinx. Just telling her to hey, back away from my lane. You're not gonna get anywhere close. I've got a Senna on top of me who's gonna poke you real crazy. And we have a poke coming. We have a pause coming in right now there too.
I'm sorry, we have a poke coming.
Yeah, poke coming in right now.
Yeah, just kidding. Anyway, with that, of course, so far already lot of aggressive movements coming in. So I was just taking a look at most of the sums that most of the teams were running. So obviously Ari has gone with Flash as well as Ignite, and then she used that in the mid lane to get that kill on the Nico. Nico has gone for the Flash as well as, I believe it's TP it looks like. Because the Tryndamere has picked up Ignite. So what that usually indicates is you want to get up in the Mordekaiser's face, you want to use that early ignite, try to get an early kill. But right now they're just playing the top lane game where they know, okay, Mordekaiser, I'll shake your hand, sir, and you sit in your side, you farm, I'll sit in my side, I farm, and we both farm, and then we have to go suddenly help our team, and then that is when I will lose. Why? Because he has TP, I have ignite, what am I going to do?
So it's I think in the long game, you know, the Mordekaiser really has the advantage with that, you know, teleport. But I think the Tryndamere, you know, wanting to try and secure that early game against the Mordekaiser. That is what he's trying to intend with this Ignite right here. So. I mean, we also see the Xin Zhao, you know, rotating towards the top side. So I think he's looking. I think PnX Red, what their strategy is, you know, trying to get this, you know...
Pressure on the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, pressure on the Mordekaiser, because they certainly do not want what happened that last game, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Because everything was just going fine, but, you know, that Urgot was, you know, turn around, you know, he was a kicker right there for the team. So I think that is what PnX Red is trying to deny right this game. But, you know, it's also worth stating that, you know, sometimes if you're too reactive to something, you know, something to what's happened, then you lose your, you know, you lose your focus, because you tend to focus a lot on, you know, that specific target, their top laner, and then, you know, you kind of like not care for the other laners as much. So, you know, that focus is just gonna drop. So they gotta make sure, you know, they have the right balance of, you know, focusing, which is happening towards the top side.
Yeah, so with that, looks like the game did resume, so we'll be getting into that very shortly. But right now, once again, you're talking about you can't be tunnel visioning. I think that's the most important thing.
Oh, this is a new view right now.
This is something that we haven't seen. So the Diamond Rift right there is what we're going to call that. It's going to be the Diamond Rift Skycam right there.
I mean,
because of the way the map is shaped.
How come you get to name all this? Yeah.
Okay, so you can name it. You can name it.
I'm just
oh
kidding.
my God, I'm really sorry. You can name it.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just a little friendly banter right there.
Yes,
okay?
definitely. All good, all good. But anyway, once again, you know, the thing about why they want to kind of control the Mordekaiser in this game is he isolates a champion, right? So what?
I mean, the Jinx is rooted right now, and it's beautiful stun coming in by the Vayne, securing that kill onto that Jinx. So that is well played right there. Pretty good and pretty sick combo.
Yeah, I mean that damage coming out from him, and once again just trying to poke out the Lulu as well. Needs to be kind of careful, but this Senna balanced.
I mean,
balance.
I mean, we were just talking about it. You know, she's super. You know, you do not want to get, you know, stunned by the Senna. It will not look good for you.
Yeah, I mean, we saw exactly what happened when you get stunned by the Senna. And the best part is obviously once again the match social hype meter 55, so still in favor. I mean, PnX is still in it obviously. Once again going for the pull. Candy Panda expecting a little bit of aggression coming in from Mr. Trindo here.
And FaZe is gonna move on to, you know, that, you know, Mountain Drake. They're like, you know, hey, we picked up the kill on the Jinx. Okay, everyone rotate towards the bot side, picks up that Mountain Drake, and that gives them, you know, armor and magical resistance, so they're going to be a little bit beefy. We see the Tryndamere going in super hard right now. He's also level 6. He's going to go in super hard. He's also got his ultimate right now, so he'll be able to survive this. Can he get the kill onto Candy Panda? And yes, he does secure that kill, and that is what that Ignite is for.
Yeah, definitely. I think he definitely needed that to get, you know, going in this lane, and with that Mordekaiser is going to be falling behind once again, and a very fed Tryndamere is super scary.
I mean, we also see the CS difference. You know, we see about a 20 CS difference. You know, so that is a lot. You know, they're doing exactly as they were planned. But the problem is, PnX Red, you know, their other laners aren't really sustaining the lane. So this is the issue what we're having right now. It's the opposite of, you know, what happened the first game, you know.
No, but I really like the understanding coming out from the Tryndamere. He's like, I hit 6 first.
Yes.
Because I have hit many creeps. You hit not many creeps.
Yeah.
So I get level 6 first, I'm stronger than you, I'm going to dive you under the tower with my ultimate, forces him to flash, he does get the kill in the end, so even him using that flash in the end, and with that, that's a huge wave.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I think you would really enjoy having a wave like this running into your tower.
I mean, that's a little bit too much right there. I would like a little bit, you know, because once he hits towers, sometimes, you know, you can miss the minions there as well. But that's
but obviously someone of your skill level will get every single CS right there.
Very questionable right there. I think right
yes,
now.
I'm pretty bad.
Right now, you're asking too much of me as well. What's this? You're asking too much of me. I mean, it's all fun and games right here on the GCLL finals, and you know. And looking at the junglers, you know, we don't see much happening right now. I'm trying to look for where Zac is. Okay, Zac is in base. getting back into that lane, and you know right now, you know what this bot lane really needs to do is, you know, they really need to respect this Senna and this Vayne, you know, just farm out, wait until the late game, you know, because Tryndamere is on a good roll right now, you know, you really don't want to, you know, let things slide, and you know, so just play cautious, wait until the mid to late game, and you know, hopefully you will be strong enough in order to try and deal with any phase.
Yeah, definitely. And right now you can see the Xin Zhao actually working on the his the Rift Herald. So that's the first one that's going to be coming out. And once again, we saw how they utilized that in the previous tournament. When the moment Tryndamere gets level 6, we're going to see that dive coming out. And once again, Nico with the transformation gets the root. Here comes the poke, but Ari barely felt that.
And I think did Xin Zhao actually pick up the Rift Herald, or? We didn't get a notification.
No, so he has picked it up, yeah, it's right there.
Oh, okay. Because we didn't get a notification on that, right?
So once again, this Senna as well as the Vayne trying to get super aggressive in this bot lane.
We see Zac on the bot side right now. You know, Xin Zhao, you know, like we said, you know, he's prioritizing the top side, and in terms of a dive, I don't think they're gonna do much, you know, because Jinx also has a rocket in order to try and, you know, like clear the wave as soon as possible. We see Xin Zhao putting in that Herald over at the top side.
Look at where the Tryndamere is in the top side right now. He's behind the tower.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't care, and I think they'll be able to, you know, do a lot of damage onto that tower, and you know, this is exactly what they're focusing. They're trying to shut off Candy Panda as much as possible. And
here comes the sneak.
Oh, we see the Nico coming in with a beautiful stun and an ultimate. They will be able to pick up the kill on this Senna, and Zac is just trying to engage but unable to do nothing. We see Ari moving in super fast with her ultimate, not being able to get a charm onto that Xin Zhao, and Xin Zhao just gets away, and that is one kill picked up for the side of PnX Red.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate, and even the ultimate coming in along with the charm into this top lane, but the rotation was kind of wasted right there, so really unfortunate. But with that, trying to get him under the tower, the Tryndamere does have the ultimate. I feel like if Candy Panda can get the Tryndamere to use his ultimate a little bit defensively, then he gets a little bit of a chance to go a little bit aggressively. But the biggest problem right now is the fact that Zac has been kind of running around. You can see he's quite far behind in terms of jungle CS. So that's a lot of jungle creeps to be missing, because the Xin Zhao has been spending a lot of time in his top jungle as well as Zac's top jungle. So you know, he's been losing out a lot of that goal that he should be getting, even with this mountain Drake being picked up. And once again, looks like there might be a rotation into the mid lane here. Nico does not have flash, does not have ultimate. If the Zac can get this stun, getting quite close.
We see the Senna also moving, and yes, Zac is just going to jump super hard. The charm missed us actually, so that's quite unfortunate right there. If they would have been able to land that charm, then definitely a kill going over to the side of any phase right there.
I love the reaction speed coming out from Kassa. That is super fast. Super fast reaction speed, immediately using the double ganger. You could see the Zac actually getting confused and not knowing, actually just scheduling the wrong creep there. But with that, at least, you know, he does manage to get out there with the Nico, and that is going to be, so far, things going really well for the side of PnX Red.
And we also see the dragon, which is going to be spawning up. It's a Cloud Drake, so, you know, I think PnX Red really has to, you know, try and contest for this Drake, because they do not want to be giving out, you know, free extra dragons over and over. It's super important dragons in this preseason, at least, you know, knowing their worth. And we also see Tryndamere just pushing in that top lane casually. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, you know, shutting down that, you know, top laner Candy Panda. So he's doing exactly that. He's got 93 CS on his belt, and PnX Red is just going to be picking up this dragon for free. Nobody's going to answer it. And we also see everybody moving, you know,
into that bot lane right there.
Bot lane right there. Ew, that was a bit confusing.
A little bit of inception right there. So
but we do see an Ocean Drake, Cloud Drake.
So you can see, so even the bushes and everything have kind of grown, and they've changed the map. They've given a lot of more ability to be able to move around, sneak around.
This is my favorite, you know, like most, like, you know, map, because it's so like vibrant and green, and you know, you got a lot of bushes, and the bushes has a lot of flowers to them too.
Yeah, definitely, it's very, very ambient, very, you know, ambient. That's the word we are looking for.
Tryndamere coming in super hard. He just doesn't care. You know, slows down that Mordekaiser, and will he be able to get the skill? He's committing heavily onto that Mordekaiser. Just gets away. I don't think he even has to use his ultimate right there. So that is a beautiful kill coming in for the side of PnX Red. Definitely showing why this Tryndamere is just top tier. He's got 2 kills under his belt with 250 gold bounty. We see the Ori just charging right through this Nico, not being able to land that charm, super close to getting that kill, but the Nico just gets away right there.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you know, Nico with that escapability coming in, but right now the top lane, Mordekaiser first pick really suffering against this Tryndamere.
And that is first tower going over to the side of PnX Red, you know, able to get a huge bunch of lead gold right there.
Look at, he already has an Essence Reaver.
That's deadly right there. And a 300 gold bounty. He's got 120 CS on him as well. He's really been shutting down this Mordekaiser. But we also do see the Ahri, you know, doing pretty well against his Nico. You know, pushing hard, pushing heavily, being able to get 3 plates onto the mid tower as well. So that is extra, you know, good gold going into the side of, you know, the NA phase.
For the charm connects.
Beautiful charm coming in by the Ahri, but not being able to follow through. We also see the Zac just waiting around that, you know,
he's lapping around right now.
Trying to get something done over. He's moving towards the bot side. I think this will look like a dive right now. They're pretty committed onto this. Will they be able to do anything? That's the question.
I don't think they commit. There are only 3 more range creeps remaining. They need to wait for the next wave and try to clear it out as soon as possible and then try to get the jump with the Zac.
Turret plating has fallen right now, so
that's a lot of lost gold, to be honest. But with that, you know, right now the Ahri kind of dominating that mid lane, 103 CS. Once again, Nico with 94, but still doing quite well to keep up against the Ahri. But the Ahri has finished up her Luden's Echo, which means she's going to be dishing out insane amount of damage in this, you know, initial queue. I mean, it's going to do a lot of damage, especially when it's charged up to full. Right now, Mordekaiser in a very bad spot.
You know,
really bad
spot. I mean, this is exactly what they should have been doing, you know, in game number 1, and it's great because, you know, they've really adapted to, you know, what has happened from game 1, and, you know, right now, PnX Red, if they ever want a chance in order to try and, you know, go on to the next game, you know, they definitely have to, you know, keep patient, you know, and play bot lane.
Oh, here comes Zac.
Yep, he's just coming in super hard. And
beautiful
we see ultimate coming in by the Lulu as well, and the Senna ultimate. Man, I really love that Senna ultimate. You know,
the graphics on that is just
so amazing. Yeah, it's just like a, you know, gives me the chills every time, you know, she ultis right there.
And it kind of makes you freak out, right? Like when you're like, you see, you're like running back to base, and then suddenly this, you know, thing is coming all the way across the map. You're like, oh, flash.
Oh, we see the Tryndamere just going in. He just doesn't care. I mean, he's got his ultimate as well. He'll be able to get this kill this Mordekaiser just like that.
Yeah,
but that's it.
I think
there is a huge issue which is happening right now for the side of NA phase, and they really need to answer to this Tryndamere. We see the Zac just jumping in right now. He just doesn't care. There's no ultimate on the side of, you know, the Lulu doesn't have his ultimate as well. Will they be able to pick up the kill onto this Lulu?
Oh, meanwhile, the Ahri in the top lane actually kills the Tryndamere. That's a 500 goal shutdown in the top lane.
I mean, I really wouldn't have done that, but I think he was so desperate in order to try and get that tier 2 top tower that it costed him his life right there.
No, 500 gold bounded towards the Ahri. That is
you definitely wouldn't want that. We see a teleport coming in. I think that's a Nico trying to teleport.
Oh my god, isolated.
What is going on right now? Why did the Nico do that? Okay, she has to flash away. That is a very questionable teleport coming in by the side of PnX Red right there.
Yeah, that was a waste of sums right there. He was wasting the teleport,
and
wasting the flash, and almost giving away the kill, because if the Zac had guessed correctly, there's no way she gets out there. But the Ahri with the 500 gold bounty right there, she's super happy right now. I mean, that Tryndamere kind of threw away a huge lead right there. And, you know, looking at things, is Vayne and Ahri, sure, the top lane is struggling, but once again, League of Legends is a team game, Shera. It involves 5 champions playing together, working as a team, and that is what NA phase really shine at. And right now, in the last game, we saw Candy Panda putting the team on his back, and this time the team is responding in kind right now. The Ahri 2-0 with 150 gold bounty. We have the Vayne who has picked up the Kingsmore, I believe it's called.
He has picked up the Blade of the Ruin.
Blade of the Ruin, okay, right. Blade of the Ruin skin, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage, especially to anyone who's super tanky.
Okay.
So,
now, what PnX Red has done is something very important. They've gotten the second Herald, and the Tryndamere is just going in for this Mordekaiser again because no one is on his back. I think he'll be able to get the kill again. And what happened is Xin Zhao just placed the Rift Herald on towards the top side because they have to respond to it. And they are trying to get this Ocean Drake, which is super smart. That is exactly what they should be doing. But, you know, we got 4 members on the side of
Zac is going in.
Phase. He's ready to try and go for it. He gets a beautiful knock-up, and we see a Xin Zhao Zinzao ultimate, will he be able to get the kill? And Ori is just gonna go in, use her ultimate, gets a charm onto the Lulu, kills the Lulu as well, and they will also be able to pick up the kill onto...
They're losing inhib in the top lane though.
There is a lot which is happening right now, and Tryndamere is just doing a lot of work right now. We see the Vayne and the Ori recalling, and
oh no,
Mordekaiser all
not like this again. Candy Panda, not like this.
Oh.
No.
All right, that's okay. I think he's gonna have to die over here. Okay, and he does die, and I think, wow, that's a lot happening right now. We see the inhibitor being taken down by PnX Red. And PnX Red is trying to start the Ocean right now. Will they be able to get it? That is the question. We also see Zac in the bottom lane. I think they're going to have to respect this and just back off because they're outnumbered.
Oh, I feel so bad for Candy Panda right now. I can feel his pain.
I mean,
because I've been through this a few times.
Yeah.
It does not feel good. It does not feel good. So if he can keep his, if he can keep his mental situation right now a little bit under control, because usually you tend to lose a little bit of control, you get a little bit tilted, but right now the team is doing really great. The RA is 4-0, the Vayne is 2-0, so they have a lot to work for right now. So I feel like Candy should try to find as much farm as he possibly can, and this top lane right now is actually quite difficult to work with, but Tryndamere is going to obviously move to the bot lane, but he's still very difficult. I feel like even if you gank him with 2 or 3 people, someone is going to die for sure.
Yeah,
because of the
his
damage.
ultimate as well, he's invulnerable when he does that for 5 seconds. So, I mean, right now they're trying to put pressure onto the bot side because top is just completely destroyed right there. Inhibitor is also down, at least Candy Panda that way has some time to, farm and, try and take as much CS as possible, because that's what he's lacking. And we see Tryndamere all by himself. I think they're trying to bait everyone into coming bot side. So Tryndamere is trying to bait everyone in. Will they follow through? That is the question.
Okay.
See the Vayne all by herself. She's unaware that things have been happening right now, and they're just trying to go in. Will they be able to get the kill onto this Vayne? But Vayne just tumbles away, gets the kill onto the Senna, and Tryndamere is just gonna dive through. He doesn't care because he's got his ultimate.
He might die here. The Tryndamere might actually die here. Yes, he does. And he goes the way of the Zac. And suddenly, overcommitment coming out from the side of PnX Red. And that is not what you want to see. And guess what? Guess who gets a little bit of space now in the top lane? Who else but none other than now Vayne actually moving forward here. Jumping, coming in from the Zinzao actually brings him down.
Beautiful shutdown coming in from the Zinzao. And he's just going to follow through, trying to get this Zac. Will he be able to? But I think the Zac is a little too fast. And I think they're just going to push towards this bot tower, try and get this bot tower down. The Ori is looking for a charm. Will she be able to get it? Not quite.
This is a level 13 Ari, by the way.
Very strong right now. She's sitting on 450 gold bounty. She's 4-0. Super strong as well, So I think on the side of NA FaZe, the Ori is what we should be looking at right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Ori as well as the Vayne. I mean, the Vayne was doing a little bit of a lot of damage, but then obviously getting out of position is always going to punish even the best of players.
Definitely.
So going in a little bit aggressive there, trying to use that tumble, trying to use that damage that comes out from the Vayne, but not being able to execute it properly and getting caught on, and Zinzao just blowing him up right there, doing so much damage. But in the end, they managed to get the kill, they managed to get the trade, and in terms of a gold difference now, right now it's just about 1,200 in terms of, maybe 900 actually now. So it's about 900 gold in difference. It's changing, and looks like...
Oh, look at what's happening right now. I mean,
I don't think
they're starting this Baron, and NA FaZe has no clue. There's a vision board on top, and I don't think they have any idea what's happening right now. Will NA FaZe come towards this Baron pit and try and ward? What is going to happen? We see the Ori moving towards that Baron pit. Okay, she places a beautiful vision ward at the Baron pit, and what is happening right now? Zinzao just caught. He has no flash. He has no way how to... Oh, wow, that is...
I mean, there was no way to do Baron there.
And they're continuing Baron for themselves right now.
Yeah, but he healed all the way back up. But the thing is, they did not have the damage for it.
It's half-life right now. PnX Red really has to respond to this. If they don't, NA FaZe is gonna take this Baron for free.
Yeah, I think they need
Oh, beautiful all coming in by the Nico. Will they be able to get this kill right now? The Tryndamere is popping. And he's just on his ultimate. Will he? Oh, that is a lot of damage coming in. We see the Nico picking up the kill onto that Zac, and the
Candy Panda is still strong enough to bring down the Jinx, by the way.
And that is just, Baron being,
Yeah, they immediately get back because the top lane is really pushing in.
Wow, okay, so a lot has happened, and I think one of the things is PnX Red really committed towards that Baron, and it was like all or nothing, right? Because, you know, Xin Zhao was just in that pit, he had nowhere to escape, so it was like, we either take this Baron down, or we either, let NA FaZe, come to the Baron pit and kill us.
So I felt like it was more of a call to arms kind of like move, where they wanted, PnX, where they wanted NA FaZe to kind of react to what they were doing and try to get that fight off, because
match social height meter 50-50, dead even right now, just what we're expecting on this grand finals of GCLL.
Oh, by the way, did you see a Vayne in that fight? I saw him for like a second, and then there was a Tryndamere. He's like, you're gone.
Honestly, I didn't even notice the Vayne.
He just died. He just died. Literally, I just saw Tryndamere just spin on top of him. There was 2 crits. He just died, and like he was gone. And now he has a BF sword on top of it with a vampiric scepter.
That's a lot.
Oh my goodness.
And I think Kasa will be also able to get this tower right now. In terms of towers, we see PnX Red having 6 towers under their belt, and NA FaZe only has 2. But the goal difference, surprisingly, is not that much, to be honest.
It's still about 1k, and now they're going in for this Ocean Drake once again.
Yep, I think it's their 3rd Drake which they're doing right now. I don't know if PnX will be responding to this. Okay,
nice,
they're just gonna let NA FaZe have this 3rd Ocean Drake, and we see Tryndamere again pushing top side. Mordekaiser is unable to do anything right now, and NA FaZe just quickly needs to recall, get back to their base so they can defend it, and Tryndamere just gets the inhibitor, not being able, Mordekaiser not being able to do anything and just gets away. And we see, PnX Red really playing the map to their strengths. They knew that, Tryndamere was top side, so they're gonna go bot and...
Oh, the win!
Oh, that is...
Oh, the knockback. He ults as well. He's out of position. He's getting taken out. He flashes.
I think he's going to die over here. Wow.
Oh, no. What is he doing? Meanwhile, the bot lane, the Nico with the polybomb is there. The ult is there from the Lulu transferring, buying time. The Ahri going back in, bursting him down as well. Here comes the Xin Zhao once again. But the Ahri managing to bring down this Nico in the bot lane.
Beautiful snare coming in by the Senna, and the Ahri follows up with a beautiful charm and a Q right there. So this is what happened in the first game as well. Things went down, and now they're starting the Baron right now. I feel like PnX Red has thrown quite a lead on that, dive. The Tryndamere just, getting super cocky, thinking that, he can just, burst down that Vayne, but Vayne was able to, kite very well and being able to get that kill as well, and now they're just going to take this Baron for free pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. I think, the kind of plays that are coming out from NA FaZe right now, it's not that they did anything special, it's just that PnX Red is currently throwing the advantage so hard right now. I don't know why. I mean, the top lane, Nishastik was playing it so well. He was literally dumpstering Candy Panda. Like, he was down in the dumps. He was in the trash right there. Saw the Vayne, tried to commit. Not the best decision. And then the Vayne, like you said, beautifully kiting him in under the 2 towers right there, taking so much damage. I think the Vayne only got like a few auto right clicks off on the Tryndamere, and he literally took the rest of the damage from the towers there. So a lot of throws actually coming in from the side of PnX Red in Lankan terms, and with that looks like the hype meter going up right now for the side of Noob Alliance. Even the goal lead now, they have actually taken over PnX Red with that dive, and suddenly it was, I think the Tryndamere was what, 5-1 or something like that, and now he's 6-5.
6-5, that's crazy. And also Candy Panda getting a gold bounty on him as well, 150. We see the Ahri though, we're not focusing much on her, but she's doing a lot of damage. She's got a 700 gold bounty. She's 7-0, looking pretty solid right there. So she'll be doing tons of damage when it comes to those team fighting. And I think what's happening with PnX Red, their strat, Tryndamere is going bot side, trying to push everything off. We've been able to secure the kill onto the Xin Zhao, and they're just pushing everyone off of this mid lane right now, and they're just going to be pushing through. They've got Baron as well, and we see Nishastik, the Tryndamere actually focus.
I know people with that, but to be able to keep your calm, keep your mentality in this game, and then coming into that situation and just unfortunately mistiming the Q right there. But if he had gotten it, he would have killed the Tryndamere off Shera, and that is scary. Because if I was, in the shoes of the Tryndamere, and this whole game I was like, okay, Mordekaiser is like, whatever, I can kill him whenever I want to, and then suddenly he's almost killing me. I would like kind of feel a little bit of pressure off that. So with that, great movements coming in. Once again, clearing out this mid inhibitor using that Baron power play. They still have about 30 seconds left. Yeah. But right now, PnX Red, like we said, the major issue that you mentioned that PnX Red had was a little bit of that communication. Not even a little bit, a lot of that communication would seem to be the problem with them. And with that, it seems to be showing once again.
And with that also being said, we see the Dragon also coming up. So what will happen is if NA FaZe is able to secure this Dragon, which is going to be their 4th Dragon, they will be able to get that Ocean Drake Soul.
Ocean Drake Soul, okay.
So that's how it goes. So they'll be able to secure that up, and then there'll be an Elder coming in through. So honestly, at this point, PnX Red really has to play this smart. We see the Ahri going in for the Tryndamere, but Tryndamere just spins away like nothing happened. And we see on the side of PnX Red, they're waiting for something to happen. And Nico is all by herself right now. She has to slash away. And Ahri coming in with, ooh, that was super close right there. And we see the Tryndamere in the top lane, getting that inhibitor. There's no one to answer for this right now.
Oh, the charm landing on Zinza.
Yep, and Tryndamere was able to secure that inhibitor,
but in the meantime, they actually got the Dragon. So it looks like the Soul is going to be coming up for the side of NA FaZe, like you said. So for those of the viewers who are watching from home who do not know exactly what the Soul is, why don't you explain to it what happens when you do get this combination of dragons?
Well, so if you do get all 4 drakes under your belt, so you can get after you get 4 drakes, the Soul, which in a game there's going to be an Infernal, there's going to be a Mountain, there's going to be a Cloud, and there's going to be an Ocean. So I think for Ocean, what you do basically get is a lot of regeneration. And Tryndamere is all by himself right now, caught up, and I think that is a dread. Yeah, that's a dead Tryndamere right now. This is very questionable plays, what's happening on the side of PnX Red. I really don't know what has happened. This is exactly something like what we even saw in game number 1. Early game, it was good, but going back from the middle to the late game, things are really falling apart. And we see the Zac coming in with a beautiful jump right now. We see the Ahri also using her ultimate. Will she be able to get this kill onto the Zinzao? They're just heavily focusing up on that. We see Senna rooting the Jinx, and then the Lulu goes down, and a lot is happening. Yep, this is looking like
game over. To me, it's what is looking right now. The Tryndamere getting picked off, and 70% to 30%. The social hype meter says it all right now. It's only going to be the Nico as well as the Zinza. The buildings are going down. Here comes the charm.
Yep, and that's a dead Nico right there.
GG. That is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be NA FaZe right now, your champions for GCLL Season 4. Congratulations. What amazing execution coming out from them in that game. And I don't know how they did it, but that Tryndamere, I'm so sorry, my friend, but I don't know what you are doing in that game.
I mean, it's very questionable because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. They completely had the early game, and they had this miscommunications, and they just threw it super hard. So the game is over right now, and I'm just in my mind, I'm just like, okay, these guys really should have been able to do something great.
Yeah, and here I was preparing myself for a for another game actually.
I know, right?
Yeah, but anyway, with that, before we break down the final last game, we're just going to head into a very short commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we'll talk about our GCLL champions.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, we'll be catching you guys in a bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GamerLK Clans League of Legends League, also known as GCLL Season 4, where we just concluded the grand finals and we have our newest champions in a phase, and what a way to claim it.
I mean, it was super, I'm still trying to wrap my head around, what happened that game, but, NA is really showing, I think one of the things, which they really locked in was, great communication. They stayed calm. They really picked it up, mid to late game. And I really don't think, like PnX Red had a clue as, what they were going to do after they, secured that early game. They got the inhibitors. I don't think they had a solid game plan, as to what would happen from the mid to late game, and really showing, why NA FaZe, really stepped it up. They were calm under pressure. The Ari was doing a lot of work.
Yeah, I think in this game, I think we didn't give the Ari enough justice. I feel like she played out of her mind in this game. It was a perfect game for her. She never went down even once. I believe she was either 9-0 or 10-0. So she was really, I mean, we thought the game was over because top lane, the Tryndamere was just destroying the Mordekaiser in that lane, and I felt really, really bad for him. But even then, the person who kept the balance in the rest of the side was the Ari. Her rotations coming in, those charms that were connecting, the orbs, doing the damage, going in, getting those pickoffs, even getting the kill onto the Tryndamere in that top lane, giving away the 500 gold bounty was the biggest deal. Like, okay, say that is fine. Okay, that one death is fine because you were trying to get that the second tier turret, right? And then you actually got the kill on the Mordekaiser as well, so you're applying a lot of pressure, which forced the rotation in from the Ari. But then from there, the plays that he went for, diving towers, over and over again, getting caught out of position, no one really there to follow up, because Tryndamere, so many times, and because he was on a really good score. He was like, I think 4-0 at some point. He was 5-1 after he killed the Mordekaiser in the top lane and died to the Ari. Then suddenly he's 6-5, and I'm like, you and me both are like, what is happening? Because, in that one where they initiated the Baron fight, the Vayne came in. He's like, oh, I'm here. Here comes Tryndamere. 3 hits, gone. Like, what? And then they lost it on top of that. I mean, that was a huge lead that they threw away. Whether you have a game plan or not, those are not the type of decisions you take in a game like this. Diving the tier 2 in the mid lane to try and get on top of the Vayne when you know he has so many ways to disengage from you, and then he just kites you so beautifully and you throw away that lead that you had. And mind you, the side of PnX Red had 6 towers standing, while the side of NA FaZe only had the 2. And that's
crazy, I mean, it's just a huge, I think in terms of, we can see why NA FaZe is, still at the top right now. Their communication is just solid. Even when they're under pressure, they can really perform, pick up their pace. They really know how to adapt to everything, putting everything on that Ari as well, so they really rotated well, They saw, okay, top is like a lost cause, so, let's just let Candy, Candy Panda do his own thing, and they were just focusing towards, that whole bot side and the mid side, and they really came out ahead from that.
Yeah, so with that, I think, one thing we need to talk about is an MVP for the games. So I feel like my MVP for both, I mean, the first game obviously it was Candy Panda in terms of that single game. But overall for this series, I feel like NA FaZe, their mid laner, has played superbly just throughout the entire course of this tournament, and even in these 2 games, these 2 very crucial games, he took the weight. And even though in that initial game there was a lot of pressure being put by Candy Panda, even in that game he was performing really well on his R. He was getting those charms out, he was getting the burst damage, and he was assassinating the people that he was supposed to. And the second game he took responsibility when Candy Panda was having a really, really difficult time. He put the team on his back, got together with the team, grabbed the Vayne as well, put the pressure, got the objective, started getting the dragon, started getting the pickoffs. And I think for me personally, I feel like for this whole tournament, he's the MVP for me.
So I feel like, me personally, I feel like Candy Panda just had a bad game, that last game. But for me, I think personally, Candy Panda would have to be the MVP of this series.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, obviously, please you guys do let us know in the comment section who you think your MVP for this Pro League tournament is, so we will obviously check that out as well. But with that, thank you so much for all of you who are tuned in from home and watching these grand finals. We hope you enjoyed it as much as me and Shera both really enjoyed casting all these games.
Definitely was expecting game 4, by the way.
Yes, definitely. We were actually expecting a game number 3, right?
4.
No,
Was
the
it like,
first one is free, right?
yeah, free.
Yeah, so it's technically a game.
I mean,
Okay,
we don't talk about that.
So anyway, so obviously with that we have to thank our sponsors as well.
Yeah.
FreeMe, our online digital banking partners, Pereira & Sons, our food and beverage partners, and MSI, our laptop partners, without whom you guys would not be able to watch all this amazing League of Legends action. And especially the most important thing is, Shera, we were able to get so many different angles in terms of the games. We saw the Sky Cam, the Diamond Cam, unless you want to rename it.
No, we'll stick to the Diamond Cam.
And then we saw the, what is it, the inversion cam, where we saw like the bot lane become the top lane, and you were like,
a bit of a confusion.
Yeah, so
right
a lot of great, production coming in. So thank you so much for all of you who actually joined up, and we hope you enjoyed everything that was there, especially throughout the tournament. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go into the last bit of highlights from game number 2. But thank you so much. With that, this is going to be me, Azman Khan, as well as Shehzad, signing out for the night.
Yep.
So good night, ladies and gentlemen.